Hitting the first big. Oh, gets three! Pyro gets three with the.
Wade Kid putting on a clinic. Whole team's down. Oh!
Experience tranquility.
Good evening, Overwatch fans. Welcome to the Overwatch Tranquility Harmony Grand Finals. Tonight, we will see the climax of the entirety of Harmony Season 5, a great match between the Indio first seed Flashbacks and the RM second seed Modify. I'm Chimanzi on the play-by-play tonight, joined by Needle on analysis and a special guest, BethCon2 on desk tonight. What are you looking forward to tonight, Beth?
I'm really looking forward to just seeing these two really good, really high level teams duke it out. I guess in particular, what I'm really looking forward to as a tank player myself is watching the tank play between these two teams. We got really strong tanks on the side of Modify with Instante and Super Polar Burr. And then on Flashbacks, you have Ares and Swirlhawk, who have put on a fantastic show in the past. So I'm really excited to see them kind of duke it out.
Yeah, we've got stack lineups on both sides. Looking at Modify here, they've got as Season 4 Harmony champions, they've got 3 returning players out of 6, so that's half of a champion roster, and making it to Grand Finals has just proved that Modify is probably one of the best Harmony teams to ever play, so I'm really excited to see what the 3 old Modify players from last season, being Instance, Bard, and Whitman, and I'm excited to see the 3 new players. What are you looking forward to tonight, Needle?
Well, not entirely sure what you guys have talked about so far, so I kind of missed that. But I'm excited to see the battle between definitely, undisputably, the 2 best teams in Harmony Tier. Probably 2 of the best teams in Harmony Tier that we've ever seen across the 3 seasons of Harmony Tier we've had so far. Combined, these teams have only lost 10 maps in this entire regular season.
Dang.
10 maps across 20 games, which is absolutely insane. These teams have both been so dominant on either side of the bracket. Both of them had really good semifinals matches. Now we get to see them in finals. I'm just really excited for this match.
Yeah, me too, Needle. And moving into our first map, I believe it's going to be Lijiang Tower. And Lijiang Tower, one of the most versatile maps in the game. I know we talk about this a lot, and Control especially. You know, typically it can favor like the brawl compositions, which do a lot of damage at close range and go in fast and get out fast. But you know, recently we've been seeing a lot more in contenders. For example, we've seen like ball compositions played, ball and diva. We've seen all sorts of things. So, what do you think you're gonna see tonight, Needle, coming out of these teams?
Well, I'm not entirely sure what we're going to be seeing out of Flashbacks, but when Modify played this map only last week, their Forum Finals match against Doodles, Modify played a lot of Symmetra TP on Lijiang. They played it on both Night Market and on Gardens, so I anticipate to see that again from them. But as far as Flashbacks go, I don't really know what they play, I'm going to be honest. I haven't seen any Flashbacks gameplay so far, so I'm hoping that they're going to show me a nice surprise for what they play. Maybe something different. The ball would be great to see. I love to see Wrecking Ball. Wrecking Ball's a really fun hero, and you can definitely flex your mechanical skill. But right now, both of these teams are showing a brawl composition, which makes a lot of sense, Chim. I mean, this is Lijiang Control Center.
Yeah, looking at both sides, we've got some really fast compositions. You have Lucy on both sides. You want to get in the fight fast. And looking at Flashbacks, we got Symmetra and Junkrat, which two of the highest damage outputting heroes in the game. So we're gonna see. This is really interesting how Modify is looking to deal with this here.
Yeah, it might be a bit difficult for Modify. They have to really burst down Ares really fast here, otherwise they're going to run into some trouble against the very heavy spam that Flashbacks out.
Yeah, Modify looking to take a fairly passive positioning here, as Flashbacks does have a really spammy comp. Got a ton of damage they just lob in there. And Stuntide falling really low as well. Flashbacks are going to push this advantage. Concept falls early though, Bard with a really nice pick. And now Modify's going to have free range to do whatever they want, but Nova and Concept even getting a pick of their own, but Modify presence is just too great after losing a member early for Flashbacks, and they are going to be able to capture this point first.
Yeah, that's a really good first kill for Modify there, taking out the Symmetra. A lot of the damage lost on the side of Flashbacks as they decide to make some changes now. They go over to the Mei and the Reaper. I think the Mei's actually really good on Control Center. I'm happy that they're going to it now. They have a really good chance to isolate off Instante here if he goes a little bit too aggressive.
Yeah, Flashbacks now on this Mei Reaper are going to be able to take a lot more aggressive engagements very fast into Modify. But now with this Coalescence here, Modify, it has the advantage. The window comes out from Apathy from the side of Flashbacks, and Stante falls so fast. Movement goes down as well. The Immortality Field comes out to keep Flashbacks up. It is taken down immediately, but with that great Implication Matrix, Flashbacks get so many early picks and are able to flip the objective.
Yeah, I like that patience there from Flashbacks. They set up the Amplification Matrix really well, and they just snowballed the fight off that really hard. Winning a fight after you lose first fight is really difficult, but Flashbacks pulled it off insanely well there. But Modify do have some tools to get back in here. They have the High Noon, and they have the Shatter.
A nice wall from Nova is going to split off Instante and Bard. The Sig Flux comes out as well. Swirlhawk takes down Whitman. Bard falls extremely low as well. That's 2 for Swirlhawk. The Lucio and the Reinhardt are going to be dead for the side of Modify. Bard falls as well. Modify is going to have to regroup all the way in their spawn. A really nice fast fight there from Flashbacks.
Yeah, and another really cheap fight for Flashbacks as well, winning again with only 1 ultimate used. No ultimates used on the side of Modify though. They're nearing a 6-pack here going into this next fight, so it's going to be a pretty hectic one. But I think the key thing here is Nova's Blizzard, and if Super Polar Bear is going to eat it or not.
Yeah, Nova continuing to just look for this wall. He does wall off most of the members of Modify. Bard, though, with the Reaper ult, takes out Nova in the middle of the Blizzard. The Blizzard is canceled. DV Bomb comes out for Super Polar Bear just to remech, and it's still just an even fight here. Jofist goes down, though, and that's a major source of healing gone for the tanks of Modify. D-Mech goes in for Super Polar Bear, and a nice stagger. Modify are going to lose that fight.
Yeah, that was a really well-timed beat for Cry, but maybe this one isn't quite over yet, Shem. It looks like Modify are still looking to engage here. They have their Coalescence, and Whitman will soon be back with the sound barrier.
And Jofus with the Coalescence to try to save the team. The Heinrich comes out from Hegel to try to zone out Flashbacks, maybe get a couple picks. Nova goes down from the Mei, from Bard, who is now on the Mei. Concept jumps in, looks for the Reaper ult, but is taken out fairly quickly. A huge shatter, though, from Ares. Puts down 4 of members of Modify on the ground, but Whitman with the saving feat. The Sigma Flux comes out as well from Swirlhawk, building another one fast. And it's still just an even brawl on point. Almost a 6v6 here. Apathy's Immortality Field goes down a lot, and that's a huge advantage for Modify to push in aggressively. Concept with the Reaper ult does not find anything. He is zoned out very well by the side of Modify. 2 more picks to the side of Flashbacks here as the Amplification Matrix comes out from Apathy to try and clean up this fight.
And that's so good for Flashbacks there. Staying in control of the point almost that entire time. They gave it up to Modify in the end, but Flashbacks, they've already accrued 95%. We're going to have to see a desperate attempt of a touch here from Modify if they can even get one, Chim.
Yeah, and Modify unable to touch. A very nice round there coming out from Flashbacks.
Yeah, definitely. Overall, very clean. Flashback's ult economy was superb, honestly. Winning 2 early fights off of 1 ultimate is insane and really good for the Flashbacks there. It made it very difficult for Modify to get back in. But this is where I think Modify are going to be a bit stronger. If they decide to go the Symmetra TP route that I saw from them last week, they played a really good Sim TP here, and it looks like they're going to go on the Sim again. They did lose this point to Doodles in a very close manner, but the execute from the Sim TP that I've seen from Modify so far this season has been really good.
And Flashbacks here are going to be rolling out on a dive composition. They've got Pharmacy and they've got Zen as well. So very low healing, but the Zen Mercy support lineup provides so much damage with the Discord Orb and the damage boost onto the Pharah. And I think Flashbacks going to have a good time here because they do have the Pharah, which is a well-known Symmetra counter.
Yeah, they definitely will. Maybe scouting out Modify pretty well here, knowing that they're going to go for the Sim TP, going the Pharah, going the Zen. a lot of spam is going to make it very difficult for Modify to find any value with the composition they're running.
Yeah, Nova already almost 40% to that barrage, building so fast. There's so much damage going on, but Cry is going to find herself off the map. An unfortunate accident there. Flashbacks is going to be down in this fight. Concept goes down as well, and now it's a 6v4. And Flashbacks do not want to take this any more than they are right now.
Yeah, very difficult for Nova to take an aggressive angle there without his Mercy. So, unfortunately for the Flashbacks there, they couldn't get the spam that they were going for in that fight, and Modify do cap the point. But Nova has the barrage for next fight, and Flashbacks have a lot of ultimates almost online as well, like the Pulse Bomb and the Transcendence are going to provide a lot of value for them here. Jofus's Coalescence is going to have to be big here for his team.
And Nova taking this really aggressive off angle is going to be looking to use his Pharaoh Barrage here. Bard falls extremely low, a nice double direct hit. And Nova goes in with the Barrage, a nice DM from Super Polar Bear, and the boosters are going to kill Nova. And now 2 picks traded for each team. Jofus, the Coalescence used to really early, and still members of both teams are falling. Both Subvertals go out. The beat goes out for the side of Modified, keep them up. Apathy as well, but a nice Primal Range is going to send Hego off the map from Ares. And now it's just still an even fight with more ults being used. Bard goes down to the bomb of Squirrelhawk. Apathy finds a pick of his own, and now Flashbacks are starting to look dominant in this fight. Super Polar Bear is going to use the bomb to remech. Apathy goes down to that though, and now Modify is suddenly looking good again. Nova goes down as well. Apathy does get resurrected, and now Modify just still has to continue to stall this point if it's even winnable.
Yeah, this is still so back and forth, Chim. So many ultimates used on both sides. I'm not entirely sure which team is still in control, but it does look like Flashbacks are showing up more in the kill feed now. It appears Modify are just going for the stall, trying to get to that 85%, and unfortunately for them, they don't. But they have a lot of ultimates going into this next fight. Flashbacks, I believe they had to commit 5 ultimates, but they already have a lot of them almost back online. Ares, he used the Primal Rage, he has another. Concept almost nearing his second Pulse Bomb. Apathy almost at the Transcendence, Nova almost at the Barrage. It's going to be really difficult for Modify to get back in here.
Yeah, Modify gonna be taking the TP to the outside of point. Very interesting from them. The Shatter goes out from Insante, doesn't find anything though. Hego with the High Noon takes out Nova. That's a big pick from him if Modify can reject that res. But Cry does get a really nice res. It takes Flashbacks up 1 member in this fight. And now Flashbacks are just free to do whatever they want to the disoriented Modify. We're just trying to find their bearings on point. And with just a couple members of Modify left, Flashbacks are going to go ahead and win another fight.
Yeah, Flashbacks are playing this composition really well, Chim. They're just picking apart Modify's SimTP engages again and again. And now we get to finally see the swaps here for Modify that I really like to see. Bard going onto the Tracer now, Widman over to the Pegida. I think there's just some key swaps that they really needed. The Symmetra was just not going to do anything against what Flashbacks are running. But with only 2 fights left, Chim, this is going to be really difficult for Modify. Still an uphill climb because the ultimate economy is favoring Flashbacks very heavily right now.
Yeah, switching compositions on control is a really rough thing to do, and Modify is going to be showing that here in this fight with barely any ults. The Pulse Bomb comes out from Concept, doesn't quite stick to anything though, but both DPS are already dead, and a big barrage from Nova is going to take down 2 anti-mech Super Polar Bear. And it's a really nice fast fight when again, Modify is going to have a chance to touch, but it's not going to be too comfortable of a fight.
Yeah, fight win that was so fast that it was almost a little bit bad because now Modified, they can almost get a full regroup here, staying on their composition almost entirely the same. Actually, never mind. Bard is now going over to the Pharmacy. We get to see a fair duel for this last fight, Chim.
Yeah, Whitman switching over to the Mercy, Bard to the Pharah. I would say it's a smart switch. It's maybe a little bit late though, as the Pharas are going to be dueling it out. The Diva Bomb goes out though. Bard is taking out, and maybe in a position where Whitman can't even res. Whitman's taken down, and now it's just 4 members of Modify on the point. Insante with the Shatter though. Just Shatter 2 members of Flashback. The Transcendence comes out from Apathy to save them. And now 2 picks from Modify. As soon as this is looking unwinnable, there's 2 picks for them, as well as a nice High Noon taking down Cry. And now Modify are going to be able to probably win this fight. And Insante goes down, and as long as Modify's members just try to play for their lives, wait for the rest of their team to stall it out, it could be winnable here, as it's just a Baby Diva on point. Ares is going to go ahead and touch though. He does have the Primal Rage available should he choose to try and win this fight and not reset. But Nova is back as well, and now it's not looking as good for Modify. As they do get off the point, Map 1 Lijiang Tower goes to Flashbacks.
Yeah, really good showing from Flashbacks on both of those points there. They seem like they came prepared for this this map against Modify. I believe that Flashbacks picked it, so it makes a lot of sense. They saw Modify play it, they saw them lose to Doodles on it, they exploited the weaknesses that they saw from Modify against Doodles, and they executed it really well. But that was a really good showing from Flashbacks. But at the same time, Modify is still showing a lot of strength, you know. This is a map, like I mentioned, they did lose to Doodles, one of only 2 maps that they lost to Doodles in their previous match. So I think this might just be a one-off for them here. You know, Flashbacks, they picked map 1, they had strats ready, they had counter strats ready, but Modify, they get to pick the next map. I think they can definitely rebound here. They have a lot of strong players. Flashbacks looked really good though on that map, Jim.
Yeah, really nice map from Flashbacks there. And looking at Lijiang Tower, what did you notice, Beth?
So the first thing I noticed on Control Center, the first map, was just how patient both of the teams were. Wasn't a lot of over-ulting. They were taking their rotations, doing their fights exactly where they wanted to do them. Just a lot of really strong coordinated play. Second point, the one kind of question I had was whether Modify may have stuck with the Symmetra strats a little bit too long. It got them the first point, which is what they were looking for and what they needed, but running Sim into Pharah is always kind of a tough pick. So I'm wondering if the swaps from by Bard first onto Tracer and then onto Pharah were just a little bit too late, but otherwise a lot of really good clean play from both teams.
Yeah, I have to completely agree with what you just said there, Beth. A lot of really good points. I do think that Modify were a bit too stubborn with their Symmetra TP comp. They played that pretty similarly to against last week against Doodles. They stayed on the Sim for too long as well, so hoping to see maybe some more earlier swaps from Modify in this next map if they do need them. And they decided to go with Volskaya for the second map. I think this is a pretty interesting. Not entirely sure what plays into Flashback's strengths, but I have not seen Modify's Volskaya before. Bard on the Widow, though, on Rialto in the last feature, actually looked pretty good, so maybe we get to see some Bard Widow on defense here from Modify. Probably not, but, you know, I'd love to see it if he decides to pull it out.
Maybe
Who doesn't
we'll
love
see
a
that.
Widow?
I love a Widow duel, especially a Bard Widow duel. You are right about that. But moving into Volskaya, I think as a Modify pick, Modify obviously being a team that is very strong, playing Brawl, playing Reinhardt Brawl, I think it's probably the best choice out of the map pool of Hanamura, Anubis, and Volskaya. So we're going to see if that does play in their strengths. But looking at Flashbacks here, they've got some very good DPS who can play snipers. They've got Seraph, especially, well known for his hit scan play. I'm excited to see if we do get a duel between Bard and Seraph, or maybe Hegel and Seraph, who of course is the Modify hit scan. But what do you think, based on what Flashbacks and Modify played at last map, what do you think we're going to see out here in Volskaya?
I think it's a bit of a tough call, just because it's Control, and those 2 points of control that we saw, Control Center and Gardens, you know, Flashbacks came in with counter strats ready for what Modify played, so I'm not entirely sure what Flashbacks wants to play, but right now, they're showing a comp that it looks really strong, honestly. They're showing a Widowmaker, a Pharah, a Zen. This is very similar. I believe only 1 hero off of what Flashbacks played on Gardens, and they won that point of control, so can't argue with Flashbacks repeating what worked well for them. It looks really strong for them. But at the same time, this composition that Modify have seems pretty well-tooled to deal with it. They have the Batiste, the Tracer, and the Ashe, so they have a lot of things that can poke out a Pharah or even Burster. The Tracer should cause a lot of havoc as well in the back line, with only Zen Mercy heals for Flashbacks. So this should be a really good battle of the DPS here, I'm anticipating, between these two compositions.
Yeah, Nova on the Pharah is going to be taking a very slow flank angle over on the left, but it could be super effective because of how many Pharah counters there are. This is a really smart play coming for him, so Flashback's just going to play really slow, wait for Nova to get in position, as it's just going to be so hard for him to push in. Apathy is going to go down extremely fast, though. A nice pick from Bard there. Seraph goes down as well with a nice shot from Hegel. That's 3 picks for Modify, and Flashback's dreams are going to be crushed. We might see some switches here going to the next fight.
That was a really nice call from Modify, sending Bard and Super Polar Bear into the backline together, taking out Apathy, and further snowballing off of that. I really like that play from Modify. With no swaps here from Flashbacks, I imagine that play is probably going to work again and again. The Zen Mercy is really hard to play against a Tracer, But now we can see Ares swapping over to the Winston. This might help out Flashbacks a bit, but it's not going to help any with their backline problem.
And Nova just still taking so much poke though, but the Winston helps a lot with that. Eagle's gonna go down already, and Whitman might not be able to get this res off, but I think the tanks and Modify are gonna make enough space for Eagle to get res, turning this back into a 6v6 rather. Bard goes down though on the flank, trying to kick down Apathy, and Flashbacks now have the freedom to basically go do whatever they want. There's no flankers to hurt the backline of Flashbacks, so the tanks and DPS can go do whatever they want as they do. Seraph gets 2 picks of his own. Ares does get res, so now Flashbacks have a major advantage in this fight. Super Polar Bear is going to get demech. The remech bomb comes out, which is very good for Flashbacks here.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure why that bomb was committed there as Flashbacks. The more that Modify staggers here, the more ultimates that Flashbacks is going to get, but it appears that Modify is still trying to turn this fight. I'm not too sure about this, Chim. They have a really bad spawn disadvantage, and there are still so many ultimates that Flashbacks have in their back pocket in case they need to commit them. But they're recognizing that they don't here. They don't really care about losing a member or two. The ultimates for Flashbacks now are looking really strong after that Modify stall. Almost 5 online for this next fight, Chim. That's crazy.
Yeah, Flashbacks have a huge ult advantage here. All they need to do is regroup, have one good fight with ults, and you don't get stalled out from the 2CP. And that's all they need to capture both objectives. But Cry using her Valkyrie there just to secure the point, not too much of a detriment to Flashbacks, as they do have so many other ults. The Transcendence comes out early from Apathy, which I can only think it was an accidental misclick there, as now Flashbacks are going to be down both support ults.
It's actually not good for them here, but they're looking to engage regardless with the bomb from Swirlhawk, already taken out by Nova.
Yeah, now 1 DPS down for Modify. Jophis with the Immortality goes out early and is taken out. Nova with the Barrage, recognizing there's no more Immortality field, so he can do whatever he wants. The Pharah from Flashbacks is just going to reign free absolutely, as there's just picks from Flashbacks, and Modify not getting much of anything. Whitman goes down to Nova again, and Instante falls extremely low. The Bob, though, from Seraph catches 3. Swirlhawk demeched as well. The Immortality field just to try to stall at this point from Jophis, but now it's just going to be Whitman on that Lucio attempting to touch this point, which I'm not sure if he even can do.
But he does just barely get in there, and Instante coming back on the Reinhardt. He has the Shatter. Maybe he can find something here. Looking for it. Takes down Apathy, but does not take him out. Nova still raining fire from the skies here, Chim. It's so difficult for Modify to get back into this point. They don't really have any ultimates to do so. Bard's Pulse Bomb is their last resort.
Yeah, Nova, so many picks this fight. I think he's probably up to 7 or 8, including all the stalls. The Pulse Bomb comes out as a last resort, but doesn't quite find anything. Flashback just finishing off the last remaining members of Modify here. Super Polar Bear on the ball, being the last toucher. And Flashbacks are going to cap both points of Volskaya at 2 minutes and 56 seconds remaining.
Yeah, while I definitely disagree with Modify stalling out first point there, their second point stall was pretty good. I believe they burned probably around like 30-40 seconds off the time bank there for Flashback, so good play by them there, but Flashback snowballed so effectively with their ultimates. You know, even though they wasted both of their support ultimates, they didn't really need them, as they got an early pick, and then Nova just went hard. That whole fight absolutely crushing Modify's dreams there on the Pharah. Really, really good performance from him so far in this series. But I'm going to be interested to see in what Modify decide to pull out in return to what Flashbacks are running. I assume Flashbacks are going to stay on the same composition here on the defense. And it looks like they are, with some minor changes. Swirlhawk showing us a Zarya, and Seraph now on the Ashe, and Nova onto the Tracer. Okay, so a few changes here for Flashbacks. I think this is a really strong composition. Zarya staying with the Zen and the Mercy, hypothetically, makes it really difficult for that Zen to be bursted. It'll definitely help out a bit more if Modify decide to switch to a flanker. But right now, they are showing their pharmacy look that they're pretty well known for. Bard, very well-renowned Pharah player in the community. So you kind of expect to see him on the Pharah here. If Flashbacks can play it on the attack, so are Modify. And this composition from Modify is pretty solid. They have a similar composition to what Flashbacks played on attack, but they have Jophis on the Moira instead, so it's going to be a little bit harder to kill him than killing Apathy was for Flashbacks' attack.
Yeah, Bard is going to have a lot of trouble playing Pharah, just like Nova did, but maybe if Modify's tanks and supports can do enough to just enable Bard, allow him to get that aggressive positioning, then it could definitely work out like how it worked out for Nova. The bubble's going to come out really early, and now without a D.Va, Modify is going to be able to control this high ground a lot easier than Flashbacks is going to be able to because of the Zarya on low ground though. And Instante is going to go down without their main tank. Modify is not going to want to continue to take this fight. They are going to go ahead and reset.
Yeah, really good first fight for Flashbacks there. As Swirlhawk, now that he has his energy, it's going to make it even harder for Modify to pressure out the backline of Flashbacks. Really, really deadly once this Zarya composition gets rolling. But Modify, they're just going to have to probably take a dry fight here. They don't have anything, and Flashbacks don't have anything either, but it's going to be difficult for Modify. They decided to make a switch over to the Ana now. I think that'll help out a little bit more. But they're going to have to hope to play for something maybe like Bard's Barrage here, as he's 70% to that, but otherwise Modify don't have much to work with this next fight.
Yeah, Modify getting ready to push in here again. They are going to be close to that barrage if Bard can continue to get all of this poke damage off onto the Flashbacks, but still, it's so tough for him as there's so many things that poke him out. That Discord Orb, Seraph constantly on him, and even Nova on the Tracer is doing a really good job of annoying Bard. The Valkyrie is popped by Cry, and it's going to be doing a really good job of keeping Flashbacks up. The Bob comes out, though, from Seraph, and that's going to be so much pressure onto Modify, and Modify is just going to crumble under the pressure of Valkyrie and Bob there. A really nice fight win there for Flashbacks.
Yeah, like you said, really good fight win there for Flashbacks, as they still have a lot of their ultimates online. Modify making constant switches. I'm not a fan of this, Jim. They've switched over to the Ana after the first fight. Now they're switching over to the Reinhardt. I'm not sure how much a Reinhardt is going to do for them here against Flashbacks' composition. Really hard for the Rein to really swing on anything except a Winston here, but they do have Bard's Barrage now online. It's going to be difficult for him to find value with it, but maybe if they can set up a play for him with Super Polar Bird defense matrixing him, and if he can get into the backline, that'd be pretty good.
A huge grab there, Bard with the Barrage, but Nova with a nice Pulse Bomb takes down two and shuts down the fight immediately. A really nice grab Pulse Bomb combination there. Flashback's doing a great job of cycling their ults on this defense.
Yeah, really good job from Flashback so far, but now we're going to see another switch from Modify. They keep making them, and I don't like... I'm not necessarily opposed to all of the switches that they're making. I'm just really dislike that they're making a switch after every fight. It's really bad for your ultimate economy. Maybe these are the switches that they need to turn it around, but now the ultimate's swinging a little bit more in the favor of Modify, because Flashbacks have had to use them to keep their hold on the defense so far.
Woodman is going to pop the Valkyrie in, heading into point, and now Instante on the Reinhardt is just going to have to anchor down. There's not much he can do. Obviously, Reinhardt is not very good at contesting the high ground. Super Polar with the D.Va Bomb takes down Seraph, and now they're in a position to deny the Resurrection as well. This is looking really good for Modify. That's going to be 3 picks. Cry goes down as well, which takes the Resurrection out of the fight immediately, but Ares with 2 picks with the Primal Rage, making this winnable again. Widman falls extremely low as well, and Sante with the Earth Shatter just to try to clean up the fight, takes down Nova, but Widman falls as well, and Apathy with the Transcendence is now winnable for Flashbacks. They've got so many picks, and Apathy with the Transcendence to keep Ares up, although Ares is not going to be able to stay alive for much longer. But Super Polar almost demeched. It's still looking so winnable for Flashbacks as members of their team are going to start getting back to the point here.
Yeah, and this high ground is going to be so deadly for the supports here if they can take it. But a big stick from Bard takes out Apathy. Flashbacks are now going to struggle to get back into this fight. Or maybe not.
But 2 picks and the Bob coming out. Nova takes down Eagle, Seraph taking down Instante, Bard falls as well. And now just Eagle on the point. Eagle's Bob in the Mega Room, unable to touch points. And Modify is not going to be able to continue to finish, as Flashbacks is going to go ahead and win Volskaya, taking the map 2-0. A really, really nice hold there from Flashbacks.
I'm kind of stunned there, Chim. I thought that Flashbacks were going to have to go to second point there, but a really good retake from them, despite Bard's best efforts with that Pulse Bomb. The rest of Flashbacks just came in really, really hard there. Really good defense from them. Their ult rotations have been on point, not what you really expect to see from a Harmony tier team. Flashbacks, they've just been in control of the ultimate game. Both of these maps so far, really good execute from them.
Epic. Wonderful.
Looking at that amazing map there, what were some of the things you noticed from both these teams, Beth?
So the first thing I wanted to point out is the first time we haven't seen Modify win their first fight was that Volskaya attack. Every other time they have won first fight every single time. And I don't know whether that was a comp issue or whether it was something else. And then I know you pointed it out earlier, Needle, just the switches. I know I kind of ragged on them for switching off the Symmetra too early, but then this last map, they just kept switching, and it put them at an ult economy disadvantage the entire time. Don't know if that was the best decision on their part, but I guess we'll see moving forward kind of what their strat is there. And then the third thing I just wanted to point out is how well both of these teams really are adapting. Again, maybe a little bit over adapting in some cases, but whether it's target focus, rotations, hero picks, they really just are very good at seeing what the enemy is doing and changing their play around to match what they're doing. And I think that's why we've seen Flashbacks, even though they lost the first fight for the most part, they were able to come back, make the switches they needed to switch, and come back and win it.
Oh yeah, for sure. But now we get to see Modify. They're going on to a pick that I'm going to reference it again and again. Modify, their match last week against Doodles was really good, and one of the maps that they played was Eichenwald. It was the finisher, and Modify went hard on Eichenwald in their previous match, and they decided to pick it here. It seems to me that it's a comfort pick from them. I definitely think they have a chance to rebound here. They were very, very convincing on it last time. They play their Ash Mercy really well on this map, Jim.
Yeah, Modify had a really, really nice push here on Eichenwald versus Doodles in that featured match. So I think even though, Flashbacks and Doodles, they do play definitely different things, I think the fact that Modify just performs so well on this map is a huge factor going forward. And I think this has got to be the map Modify turns it around. They have just, honestly, they're not showing that they're playing at their peaks. And I think this map, it's a new, fresh slate. And I think Modify really has to get it together here to rebound in this series and start taking some map wins.
Yep, I completely agree. If they keep it cool, despite being down 0-2, they can still turn it around. On this map, they looked really good on it last week in their feature. But I think if Modify lose this map, it's going to be really rough sailing after halftime. But if they can turn it around, they could get that momentum going. They win the map, they get their mentals rejuvenated, they take the halftime off, they come back in off of the map win. I think that'd be really good for Modify here, and I think this is definitely the map where they can do that. They looked really, really strong on it last week, but one problem is that they played it last week in a feature match. Flashbacks, they might have some strategies prepared like they did for Li Zhang. Flashbacks have looked really good so far playing their Zen Mercy with their Winston Diva and the Pharah, the Tracer, the Ashe. All of that. The dive has been really good from Flashbacks so far. If they decide to play more of that, I think it could be a rough ride for Modify, despite them looking really good on this map so far.
Yeah, and looking at these two team compositions here, on the side of Modify, you've got a heavy poke, high damage DPS composition here. You've got Ashe, which outputs a ton of damage from Dynamite, and just her regular primary fire, and then Pharah does so much damage, especially when Flashbacks are playing this super grouped up composition where the point is just to play around your monkey and speed in with the Lucio, get your Winston in, and every member of your team goes with your Winston. Bard on Pharah is going to get so much value into what they're running.
Oh yeah, for sure, but I anticipate Nova's just going to go for the shot and then switch to Sombra here. As a Sombra Reaper composition, the rush here from Flashbacks is going to be really, really deadly. Although he decides to... Okay, yeah, he does switch over to Sombra here. If Bard and Heagle do not pick apart Flashbacks effectively, then they're going to have a very tough time, especially against a snowball that Flashbacks can pull off here with their EMP if they get it.
Yeah, Modify really has got to put in a ton of damage on these rotations. They cannot let Flashbacks get to them unharmed. They've got to force out these cooldowns. They've got to put a ton of damage into them before they can even get to Modify. And they are going to go ahead and do that as many members of Flashback fall low, but Instante, separated from his team, goes down early. And now Jofus Force Use, the Moira Fate, is put in a bad spot here. Does fall to Ares, and to Pulver without the mech is going to fall to Concept. A really nice clean fight there from Flashbacks.
Oh yeah, very, very good. As Nova going in there, he takes a lot of pressure, and I don't know if Modify committed too many resources to turn on him there, but the rest of Flashbacks just rushed Instante really hard, really, really fast execute. That's exactly what Flashbacks need to keep doing, but it's going to be a little bit harder going on to second point here, because now Bard and Heagle, they have a high ground that's given to them on the defense. It's going to be really difficult for Modify to break this, and they don't have any ultimate tools too yet. They only have a Coalescence. It's not going to be enough the key here is going to be Nova's EMP, like I was talking about for the snowball. If Nova can build up this EMP and then Flashbacks claims high ground with that, then it is going to be so difficult for Modify going forward. But he does not quite have it yet, so Modify still have a chance to take advantage of this high ground here.
Yeah, Modify has got to recognize his ult advantage and use their ultimates first before Flashbacks can get their almost 6 ults, which they're almost close to. But Modify just continuously playing this slow, putting out so much poke damage. The Bob comes out from Eagle, which is huge pressure on the back line. The Barrage comes out as well, takes down Apathy. He was mid-coalescence. Really nice ultimates there from the DPS of Modify, and it's still looking really good for Modify here. Bard picks up 3 picks, a nice direct for a 4th. Could get more here, possible, but Flashback's going to deny that. 2 members jump off, and they are going to reset.
Yeah, what a great fight there for Modify. Great performance from Bard in that fight. Having to only use 2 ultimates on the side of Modify is really good for them. But now, you were talking about how Flashbacks were almost at 6 ults in that previous fight. Well, they only had to use their Coalescence this fight, and now they have 5, including this EMP, which is going to be very, very difficult for Modify to counter, and they're not looking to play split at all. I don't think they're ready for it, Chimp.
Yeah, Modify is not looking ready for this EMP. It's going to get a lot of value when the team is playing close together like Modify is. Nova just getting ready for Tanks to go in. The bomb comes out. He messes up the translocator, though the EMP doesn't find anything. Although Instante is going to fall to the bomb. And now Flashback's just playing so aggressive, trying to recover from that small blunder there. But picks are flowing both ways. Nova falls to Bard, picks off both DPS from Flashbacks, and now it's just the Tanks and Apathy on the point here for the side of Flashbacks. Modify with the spawn advantage is going to look really good here for this recontest.
Yeah, they definitely are, and they still have a lot of ultimates online. A few ultimates on the side of both teams here, but Instante has this Shatter, which has a chance to provide a lot of value with only a Winston bubble on the side of Flashbacks to block it.
Ares is gonna pop this Primal Rage to try to knock the Tanks of Modify away or off the map before they can even touch. It's not gonna find anything though right now, but it is a good tool to zone them Modify out. Super Polar Bear's bomb comes out. The beat from Cry to keep the team up goes out as well, and 2 picks for Flashbacks. The Coalescence and Reaper ult are going to be used here. And Bard with the Barrage, though, picks off 2. Could be saving the fight here. He is going to go down, and it's just going to be the Baby Diva on point here for the side of Modify. They're not going to be able to contest again. And Flashbacks, sorry, actually, Jopus is actually going to go ahead and fan on a point, but now Flashbacks is going to cap point 2 with 4 minutes into point 3.
If Modify almost winning that fight where Flashbacks had a big advantage. That was a good attempt from them there, but now they lost that fight. They have to go in onto 3rd point, and they make some good swaps here. Bard over to the Reaper and Whitman over to the Vegeta should really help a lot in 3rd point.
Yeah, these are good swaps coming out here from Modify. The bomb comes out from Swirlhawk, but Nova's not on the Sombra anymore, so there's no EMP available to catch Modify off guard with. It is going to do a good job of zoning Modify out, though, as Instante does get separated from the team, trying to avoid the Diva Bomb. The Pulse Bomb comes out. Nova is going to be taken out by himself, though. Flashbacks with 2 picks, trying to take this fight back. The Bob of Hegel is going to go down. Pulver falls extremely low. And Modify, even though they're losing a fight, they're doing a really good job of stalling cart. They are going to go ahead and have enough time and stop the cart enough to get another full fight.
Yeah, good stall for Modify, but they don't have any ultimates to get back into it here. Instante's closest ultimate is a Shatter. You know, they're Modify again. They're gonna have to really rely on that ultimate here if they want to turn it around.
I mean, it falls down extremely early to this Coalescence from Apathy, which is doing a great job of allowing Flashbacks to push aggressively. Swirlhawk now back in the mech is allowing Flashbacks to look really good here, but Instante with the Shatter. It's a huge Shatter, catches 5. He is going to take out 2. A nice shot from Instante, showing what he is known for, which is that Reinhardt gameplay. A really, really nice fight there from Instante.
Yeah, really good job from him. Hitting the Shatter when Modify needed it most there. And now their ultimate economy is looking really good. Almost 5 ultimates online for them. We're going to see Nova now switching over to the Junkrat. Should make life a little bit more difficult here for Modified. Junkrat on 3rd point Eichenwald has a lot of damage potential. Hopefully Super Polar Bird can eat up that spam.
Yeah, Flashback's pushing in here aggressively, but Jofus is going to stop their aggression with that more Coalescence, although the Junk spam is going to stop Modify as well from aggressing with that Coalescence, so Flashback's doing a great job of kiting out that ultimate and just getting back out, making it kind of useless there. As Bard positions here, looking for this Reaper ult. The rally comes out from Whitman, a nice shot on the concept, takes him out. The Diva Bomb and Reaper ult are going to go out, but Cry with the beat to keep Flashbacks up, negating so many ultimates. A really good value beat there. Apathy with the Coalescence as well to try to turn this fight and finish it off for Flashbacks. Picks are traded each way. That's going to be one support down for Modify, but with the main tank down now for Flashbacks, they're going to have to regroup all the way back after so many ults are used.
Yeah, good attempt there from Flashbacks, though, using some ultimates, almost turning it around there, but I believe Heagle has been sat up on this chandelier for the past 3 fights, Chim, and I don't think he's been damaged so far.
I believe so as well.
He has Bob up online for this next fight. There's pretty much nobody who can shoot him, honestly. Only Nova can hit some long-range shots, so really difficult for Flashbacks to deal with Heagle here, and this Bob should provide massive value.
Yeah, Nova with the tires, gonna catch Whitman and out. That's a huge pick to deny a lot of heat. He's just so dominant here on this point. Uncontested completely. 3 picks for Heagle. Bard with a couple of his own as well. And Heagle is still just making his home here, setting up camp on the chandelier with no one at all contesting him.
Yeah, sniper on high ground is deadly, but what's even more deadly than a sniper on high ground is a sniper on high ground who does not need to strafe. But now we get to see Nova switching over to the McCree here. Should help out a little bit with their Heagle infestation in the chandelier.
Yeah, Flashback's going to be going to this fight, now finally able to contest Heagle, but Nova's going to have a really tough time because of that distance. A lot of damage drop off for McCree, and Heagle just really still doesn't really have to move. McCree only tickles him from there, as Concept moves in for the Reaper ult. It is a really nice DM there, but a big shadow from Ares takes down 4. 2 picks for Ares that fight. 2 forward, D-Mech taken down as well. Flashbacks now marching this point, discard onto 3rd point to try and capture. It's just going to be Heagle trying to touch, but he's unable to. And Flashback's going to be capping all 3 points of Eichenwald in overtime.
Yeah. Do you remember that scene from Ratatouille, Chim, in the very beginning where the rats are all in the ceiling, and then I believe it's a chandelier that collapses, and then all the rats come out, and then they have to flee. Unfortunately, that's what happened to Modify in that last fight, with people being taken out of his chandelier position. But a really, really good job from Flashbacks there, going over to the McCree and turning it around, but at the same time, Modify held for so long on 3rd point there, switching over to the Reaper and the Brigida helped them a lot. You know, you'd think that they'd have more success with their Pharah comps, but they looked really strong on that brawl with the Brig. Maybe they're going to play more of that going forward, but probably not. They're probably going to go their Pharah comp again, and that's what they're showing so far. But, oof, this has been a really good map so far. Flashbacks capping all 3 points, but still, it was so close.
Yeah, and now Bard is going to be picking back the comfort pick of Pharah, as well as Nova on his comfort pick as Pharah. Bard and Nova, both very well known for their Pharah gameplay. Nova and Bard both playing the heroes in Season 3 of Tranquility. Was a teammate with Nova for a short period of time. Very good Pharah player, but Bard as well. And I'm really interested to see how this Pharah duel plays out, because I think whoever comes on top of that is going to come up top of this push right here, this Modify attack. So it's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, I definitely agree, but even if Bard goes down here, he will still have a chance to turn it around since he is on the Ashe. Concept is on the Tracer here, so he won't be providing too much pressure here onto Bard. He should be a little bit more free, and he is killing Nova early.
A nice direct onto Nova, takes them down, and Modify taking all this space, so Nova's not going to be resable. It's a huge advantage, a lot of damage gone for the side of Flashback. Nova just respawning now. Flashback's going to have to play this really slow, and Modify's not pushing this advantage enough. Super Pulver is demeched, Heagle goes down as well, and now Flashback's back with the advantage. Do take down the last remaining members of Modify, are going to win the first fight.
Yeah, really good turnaround from Flashbacks. They're always turning these fights around, Chim, when I really least expect them to. Really, really good clutch plays from Flashbacks so far in this series. But not many ultimates on the board here. Looking to be another dry fight type thing. I'm hoping that Instante switches off the Reinhardt here. I like the Reinhardt on the defense for Modify, you know, when Flashbacks are playing the rush. But when Reinhardt into not rush is kind of just a shield simulator, and it's really rough.
Modify going to be pushing again the same way towards point. Just trying to repeatedly force this point here, take out this pharmacy. Concept doing a really nice job though, pressuring out this backline. The bomb comes out for Zorhawk, catches 4. A nice, beautiful bomb from Zorhawk, shuts down Modified's push immediately, and they're gonna have to reset their spawn.
Well, that was massive. What a great bomb there from Zorhawk. I didn't expect that one, but you know, Flashbacks, they keep surprising me, Chim. It's very, very good play from them. And now they have almost 5 ultimates online for this next fight. Maybe Modify, they're going to have to take a little bit longer if they want to cap the first point here. Not having any ultimates online, they're still going to need to build some of them up in this next fight.
Yeah, Modify just looking so desperate to build these ults. A nice stick though. Eagle is taken down. Concept of a nice early pick to shut down Modify's attack already. Their tank's going to be forced back as well. Bard falls to Nova, and this is another fight win for Flashbacks, and that's one ult use.
Yeah, maybe not quite over. Oh, if they go for the stagger here on Super Polar Bird, that'd just be so rough for Modify. They do decide to kill him, show him some mercy there, but more ultimate charge gained here for Flashbacks, having to only commit one ultimate, pushing up into the spawn of Modify a bit. But now, this is it. We've reached, I believe this is the third or fourth fight, and now we get to see an ult fiesta, Chimanzi. There are so many ultimates on the side for both teams. This fight's going to be crazy hectic, and I love crazy hectic fights.
Modify taking once again this slow push to the right. Swirlhawk falls extremely low, but it is going to be saved. Once again, this low healing composition does have its cons, but his throws are big damage plays like that. And Stante falls to the barrage of Nova, and that's one ult used again. Modify is going to back up. That's 3 fights in a row with one ult used or a win.
Yeah, maybe it's not crazy ult fight time because Flashbacks are just ulting so early here that Modify don't have a chance to maybe enact the plans that they're coming up with. Still, Modify have a lot of ults for this potentially last fight here. Maybe Modify get a stall, but they have this is it. This is Chim. This has got to be it. It's got to be the crazy ult fight this time. Because Modify, they have to do something here. They need to break through this hold of Flashbacks, and they have 5 ultimates to do it. I really hope that they can.
Here we're seeing 5 ultimates versus 5 ultimates here. Concept with this pulse bomb again, building it in one fight. Swirlhawk building the bomb again. The bomb is going to go out towards Modify, takes down Whitman in a huge pick. The Resurrection's not going to be available in this final fight. The bomb comes out from Eagle, and Eagle's going to fall as well. Bard falls too. The Bob is going to be down, and Dante with a big shatter takes down Apathy. No Transcendence available for the side of Flashbacks, so it's so winnable. But the res, it's huge for Flashbacks. Now with the Transcendence available, and Dante is going to be the only one left on point. He's going to be isolated, taken down by Cry on the Mercy, pulling out the Glock, pulls out the Glock again, trying to take down Whitman, and a really, really nice hold there from Flashbacks to deny Modify map 3. A really dominant map there from Flashbacks. They're looking so good, taking this series up, taking the lead 3-0.
That is a crucial win for Flashbacks there. Now beating Modify on 2 consecutive Modify map picks. This one I really thought was going to go Modify's way. They looked so good on it last week, but Dreams absolutely crushed by a full hold. Not even a tick given there by Flashbacks, but such a good ultimate rotation. Oof. What did you think about this map, Beth?
I cannot get over how good Flashbacks are using their ults, especially in that last fight. Their rotations, their conservation, and then just ulting early before the enemy even has a chance to set up. They kept Modify on the back foot that entire defense, and it was really, really amazing to watch. That said, can't discount Modify's 3rd point hold there, pushing him into overtime. Modify through this entire series has been showing us that they don't give up without a fight. When it looks losable, they're going to stay in, they're going to grit their teeth, and they're going to try to turn it around as much as they can. It's not over until every last man is back in spawn for them, and I have a feeling that this game is going to just keep showing us Modify's tenacity as we move forward as well.
Yeah, that was an amazing map there from Flashbacks, and Modify putting up a really good fight. So down 3-0 in the series, we are going to be moving to halftime. And now, after halftime, Modify have got to start. They have to win a map to stay out of elimination. They've got to win 4 in a row to complete this reverse sweep. Or we're going to see if Flashbacks just continues their momentum to maybe get a complete 4-0 sweep here in the Harmony Finals. But Modify has got a 10-minute break here, moving into halftime to fully reset their mentals, reset everything. So we might see a fully different game here moving into halftime. Welcome back, viewers, to the second half of the Modify Flashbacks Harmony Grand Finals match, where currently Flashbacks is up in the series 3-0. Moving on, obviously as a first to four, what do you see going in the second half, Beth?
It's tough to say. If Flashbacks and Modify both keep playing like they have been playing, then Flashbacks are looking really, really strong for this map. That said, Modify does have a chance to turn this around, right? Like we've seen their never say die, can do attitude through the entire season. Flashbacks has been setting the pace the past 3 maps. Modify just needs to take that control back somehow, and I don't know how, whether it be through switches or mental or what, but if Modify can cause Flashbacks to play their game, then they'd look a lot stronger at this point.
Yeah, I don't know how Modify are going to turn this around either, Beth. I am in disbelief that this match has been so one-sided so far, to put it honestly. Modify have looked good at points, but speaking of points, Modify haven't taken one yet off of Flashbacks. Flashbacks have full held Modify on both Volskaya and Eichenwald, and they won control 2-0. So maybe this is the map where Modify can turn it around. You know, I think of Modify as a more Pharah favored team. You know, Bard very well known for his Pharah, but it's really difficult for Modify because they're kind of meeting their match here, because Flashbacks is also a team that can play the Pharah really well. Nova's looked absolutely mental on the Pharah so far. So whenever you want to go to a more Pharah favored map, like Eichenwald, like Volskaya, like Rialto, you know, if you're Modify, you can pull out the Pharah, but if Flashbacks pull it out too, then I mean, it's really difficult, because Flashbacks have just looked better so far in this series than Modify have. But Modify have had a 10-minute halftime. Maybe that's what they need to turn it around. They're definitely not out of this just yet. So I hope they reset their mentals, because if they want to turn it around, they're going to have to go hard this map and the next 3 maps after that.
Yeah, and looking at Rialto, we've got Modify, obviously, as you said, a team that likes to play the Pharah. They are going to be rolling out on it on the defense here. And once again, referring back to their match versus Doodles last week on the Overwatch Tranquility Twitch channel, they did roll out on this exact same composition, and they did full hold on it. So Bard on this Pharah did a great job last week on this defense. So I think, obviously, playing it into what Flashbacks has, which is a ton of poke, a ton of damage. You've got Widow, Hanzo, and the Zenyatta, which can all contest the Pharah, and even Sigma helping out a little bit. It's going to be really hard for Bard to do his job, but I think it's definitely still possible for Modify.
Yeah, it's definitely still possible, but Flashbacks are playing a composition that really plays to their strengths. They like to play slowly and methodically, and they have the exact composition for that. They have double sniper with the Sigma. They have so much spam that as they slowly take space and get kills here, that it's going to be really difficult for Modify. I think they have to take the fight fast.
Yeah, Modify's only chance here is taking this fast fight and brawling onto the tanks of Flashbacks, but Modify is still just playing so passive, so slow, when Flashbacks clearly has the poke advantage. Seraph goes down early, which is a really nice pick for Modify, but the res is available. Bard with the boop does boost pry away, but the res does go off. And now a 6v6 again, and Stante's barrier falls, and Flashbacks just with this clear poke advantage. Bard goes down already, and Flashback's going to push aggressively to try to deny this resurrection. Whitman trying to look for it, but ultimately it's going to be a bit too dangerous. Super Pulver gets hooked by Swirlhawk, a nice hook there. The Immortality Field comes out as well, and with that down now, Flashbacks has an even bigger advantage here. Although Ares does go down, Flashbacks still with so much space here.
Yeah, Flashbacks do have a lot of space, but right now Modify is taking the fight where Reinhardt does best on that corner there. The card is there, really favors Modify a bit, as we have to see just a lot of pokes still going out on both sides. Super Polar looking for the kill onto Seraph there, does not quite take him out, but now Swirlhawk is demanding space with his Whole Hog.
Strong with a nice Whole Hog there, a big shatter too to deny him getting away. Super Polar with 2 picks up by a nice Diva Bomb to secure the fight win there. A really nice win for Modify.
It's definitely a good win for Modify. I'd like to see, okay, Flashbacks are going to switch up their composition a little bit here. Now that they have Winston Diva, they're likely going to be competing for the high ground here that Modify have looked to control so far. They have their Diva up there though, and Bard on the far. It's going to be a bit difficult, but now Nova's on the Echo as well. I really like these swaps from Flashbacks.
And some really nice swaps. The Echo's going to put a ton of pressure on that Pharah, maybe even more than you could possibly do on a hit scan character, because Echo can just get in the Pharah's face and basically just use all of Echo's abilities, as we see right now. But a nice now from Bard, a direct shot and a booster damage from Pulver is going to take Nova down, and Flashback's going to have to regroup again.
Yeah, they are, but they still are holding on to this high ground here, and now Jofus is taken down on the side of bottom by Flashbacks, looking to turn this around a bit.
The Jofus is res up. The pick, all the advantage from that pick is now gone. But now with the resurrection, Flashback's gonna have a pretty good time pushing in here. The Valkyrie is popped on both sides to keep each other up. Pulver almost gets the mech, he falls so low. The Transcendence comes out from Apathy to try to keep Flashbacks up, so Flashbacks to just push it aggressively. Immortality Field out from Jofus to keep up the tanks of Modified. The Bob comes out as well from Hegel to put a ton of pressure onto that back line. But Ares, with his Primal Rage, is getting melted so fast. Bard with the Barrage as well, just to clean up the fight. And another fight win for Modify, although they have used 5 of their ultimates.
Yeah, but this is ultimate uses that we haven't really seen been very effective from Modify so far in this series. Now their ultimates, they're using them aggressively, and they're getting a lot of value with them. Something that Flashbacks aren't doing uncharacteristically on this map, so Modified looking to turn it around a bit here. But now heading into last fight, there are virtually no ultimates with an almost full comp switch from Flashbacks on the last fight. I really don't like that, Chim.
Yeah, very interesting here, but honestly, I mean, Flashbacks have got one ult, but Modified's also got one ult. Instante's hacked, a really nice hack up from Nova. The bomb goes up from Super Polar Bear, catches one, and Nova goes down as well to Bard, but Swirlhawk with a bomb in return takes out Instante and the Immortality Field. Jofus goes down as well. Bard is resurrected though. There's not going to be a lot of healing on the side of Modified. They're going to have to play slow, wait for Jofus to get back, maybe going to switch over to the Mortar, try to get back faster. But Modified should have a touch here, as Bard is just going to try to stall out the cart.
I would say that this recontest fight favors Modified, but now with Hegel and Bard both going down, Hegel was so close to that Bob there, Chim, at 96% right now, but he's in his spawn, respawning. And Sante's Shatter has to come up massive here, and it does!
Big Shatter takes down 3. He's not going to be able to confirm any of the kills, though. There's so much sustain on the side of Flashback. Nicolason comes out from Apathy to try to confirm this point, and they are going to take down both tanks and cap first point. Flashback's a nice push there.
Yeah, actually a swap that paid off for the Flashbacks there. I didn't anticipate it to do very well, but now that they're on this composition, they won a fight that was pretty much a dry fight for both teams, like you said. So now Flashbacks are in a really good situation to get a snowball going here. They have a lot of ultimates coming up online. Just when Modify were looking to full hold them, only 30 seconds left, Flashbacks persevering through, now taking the second point. That's a really clutch showing from them.
Yeah, Modified did not push this high ground very aggressively. This is one of the most valuable high grounds in the game. And if you set the Ashe up there, the Ashe can get really good value from those angles, as well as the Pharah if they take an off angle. But now it's just a wild brawl inside the high ground room. The bomb does come out from Swirlhawk, trying to clear out Modify, which it does. Super Pulver is going to get demech by that. Swirlhawk does remech. The Immortality Field is going to come out on the side of Modify to keep Instante up. The Pulse Bomb comes out as well. Does take down Super Polar Bear outside of that mech. And now Flashbacks with this advantage is going to push, but Bard with the barrage, he does not find much. Actually finishes off Seraph, and Cry falls as well. But now all the attention is turned to him. A nice barrage there, even though it didn't finish off many members, it took a lot of attention away from his front line. Although Modify is going to lose that fight.
Yeah, I would say almost drew out time for Modify to get a good stall fight here, but now with Whitman going down late, it's going to be very difficult for Modify to recontest, but they still look to with Instante's Shatter almost online.
Instante is going to be able to touch this point, although he's getting isolated by all members of Flashbacks. A nice Shatter, though, cancels the Coalescence concept. Sorry, Seraph with the Death Blossom takes down 2. Both supports gone for Modify. There's going to be no heals available for their tanks. And this recontest is not looking very good for Modify, as 2 more ults are invested, the Bomb and the Bob, from the side of Modify, and they still have not confirmed any picks.
Yeah, I think Modify are taking a lot of fights and investing a lot of ultimates at times that they really shouldn't so far, Chim. Both on the end of first point, there were some ultimates used that were maybe a bit questionable, and now at the end of second point, it just puts Modify in such a rough position. Like, even if they're going to switch off some of these heroes, it's still so bad going forward, because now Flashbacks, they're at the ultimate advantage again for the 3rd time in a row going into their next point. So it's so difficult for Modify to come back after they use their ultimates like that. and there are going to be none online for Modify this next fight.
Women now with the Brig switch is going to be pretty helpful for dealing with that Tracer and the dive tanks of Flashbacks, and Heagle on the McCree now as well to help with this just anti-dive composition. Bard taking out Nova, the bomb comes out from Sorhawk, doesn't connect to anything though. Now with one pick for the DPS on either side, Modify with the spawn advantage is looking good in this fight, and Bard is in. He's going to get caught out by Flashbacks, not finished though. Really nice supporting from the supports of Modify. The Coalescence comes out from both sides. Bard is going to fall to Apathy, and Modify is still with a solid hold here. Seraph falls as well, and just a really good hold for Modify. They're not crumbling under pressure, they're playing together. More ultimates are coming out. The Prime Rage is popped by Ares, and Stante with a big shatter takes down multiple members of Flashbacks, and this fight is looking very good for Modify here.
Yeah, Modify now on a composition with a lot of sustain. They've looked really good when they could play this so far, just like they did on the end of Eichenwald last map. This composition has worked really well for them. Whitman already has the rally online after being on Brigitte for only one fight. It's going to be really difficult for Flashbacks to fight through that. Rally gets a lot of long-term value over the course of a fight, but Cry, her beat could come up absolutely massive here. Her beats have been really good so far this series, and this one just might turn it around for Flashbacks.
Yeah, Modify taking an extremely aggressive fight here in the indoor area with the rally, but the beat goes out as well for Flashbacks. A huge high noon though. Heagle takes down 2, and Tante with a pick of his own, and the DPS duo of Modify just finding so many picks here in this last fight. A very clean team kill to secure Flashbacks, stopping them before third point of Rialto.
Yeah, the sound barrier not enough for Flashbacks here. As now we're going to see Modify perhaps turning it around. I really hope that they just, going forward, that they try to force this composition that has worked well, worked best for them so far. The Reinhardt, Brigitte, McCree, Reaper, Moira, and Diva, that Brawl composition without the Lucio has been what Modify has looked best on so far, and I hope that they realize this and just decide to hard commit to it, no matter what Flashbacks play. But it's still so difficult because Flashbacks are a really good poke team, and arguably that comp loses to poke on a lot of these points, but I'm kind of interested to see what the teams are going to pick here, if Modify are going to heed my recommendations that they can't hear, and it looks like they're not going to. Bard did play the Widow last week against Doodles on this on Modify's attack, and it appears that he's going to be on it again.
Flashbacks electing to choose the double shield composition with Baptiste and Brigitte. This composition, you've got a ton of poke here. Arissa and Sigma, obviously well known as the double shield tanks, poke tanks. Ashe, which outputs a ton of damage at long range, and Torb, who does so much poke with, just spamming out his primary fire and his turret. And then Baptiste, who's really, really good at balancing between healing his team and providing a lot of sustain and doing a lot of damage, especially with his ultimate, which is so easy to build now with those Baptiste buffs. But looking at these compositions, I think Modify's going to have a really tough time, especially with both of the shields.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Double Sniper into Double Shield can be a bit of a rough time, and Double Shield is looking to be on the rise right now. So much damage potential in the composition that Flashbacks are rolling out so far, and it's so difficult for anybody on Modify to do a single thing. They're going to have to take space really slowly despite having a Reinhardt just because of all the spam that Modify have with their composition. But now we're going to see Whitman swapping over to the Brigitte. I really like this switch from Modify. I think this is what they need.
Yeah, the switch onto the Brigitte goes out, but honestly, they're going to still have so much trouble. Without Lucio, you're just not going to have the speed to be able to go past the shields or just to avoid the poke. But Modify are going to be taking a fairly aggressive approach here at the corner, ignoring these shields, brawling into the tanks of Flashbacks, but a really fast Amplification Matrix build come out from Apathy here, and picks are traded on each side. Twirlhawk with the Gravitic Flux is going to be huge to deny a lot of healing and to do a lot of damage on the Modify, but Eagle with the Bob takes down 2. Flashbacks just ignore the Bob, and it got so much value and saved the fight completely after Flashbacks got a ton of early picks.
What an amazing turnaround from Modify in that fight, and because they won that fight when the card is so close, now they get to cap first point for free. We get to see a point on the board for Modify in this series, and Whitman swapping over to Lucio as well. Like you mentioned, speed can be a bit of a problem, not having it into the double shield where you need to close the distance. So now, Modify, they have that speed. I think they have the tools they need to win this map now.
Yeah, and second point Rialto notorious for being one of the hardest points to take into double shield or any sort of poke composition. Although Flashbacks are not holding the usual place where double shield compositions would hold, which is on that high ground. They are going to elect to take this close fight on the bridge. A huge Torbolt goes out. It's doing so much damage. A nice Torbolt from Nova, but Bard looking to use this Pulse Bomb in the backline of Flashback. Sticks Ares. Nice pick there. Immortality Field not going out. The turret goes down as well, and Modifier are looking really good going into this fight, but Women and Bard falls. The Shatter comes out, taking out the Bob, and Sante is going to fall though. A nice fight there from Flashback, turning it around.
Yeah, really good turnaround and a great Shatter block there from Swirlhawk, kind of predicting that Instante would go for the Shatter there, knowing that his Orisa was down. Really good play from him there, and now Flashbacks, they look like they're opting to go onto the high ground now, and Whitman swapping back over to the Vegeta. I was a fan of it at first, but it's going to be so difficult without the speed on second point when Flashbacks hold the high ground like they are now. They're a bit split, but the majority of their team on the high ground is going to provide so much damage, and it'll be hard for Modified to even cross the bridge here.
Yeah, the Amplification Matrix going out does so much damage to the shields, as well as a really nice pull from Ares, taking Modify away from their sweet cover into the danger of the Amplification Matrix. And just a really nice execution there. The Gravitic Flux goes out from Swirlhawk, catches multiple members of Modify, gonna do a ton of damage, and now Modify is gonna have to reset after getting losing so many players early.
Yeah, but that rally commit may be a bit questionable there from Cry. 3 minutes still on the board for Modified because they capped first point so early. They have a chance to build up a lot of ultimates here. They have a lot of fights where they can just keep running it down into Flashbacks and hope eventually something sticks. And what just might stick this fight is Bard's Pulse Bomb. Last time his Pulse Bomb took out Ares, almost won the fight for his team there. So we'll see if he can come up big with this Pulse Bomb as well.
Yeah, looking to use this Pulse Bomb as well as a switch onto Zarya. From Super Polar Bear, the grab can be a huge win condition. It's already paying off. Swirlhawk is going to fall to the beam of Super Polar Bear. 2 members going down for Flashbacks. The Bongo, Orisa ult committed for Flashbacks. A little bit questionable. Down 2 players. And Flashbacks are going to go ahead and lose a fight after committing the Orisa ultimate. But Nova just stalling on this point. Modify still doesn't see him. Probably Nova's biggest play tonight. An amazing stall there from Nova. Flashbacks is going to be able to go ahead and take a really nice recontest fight here on second point.
That was actually such a clutch stall from Nova because he can get back fast with his overload. The Shatter's a swing and a miss here from Instante. This might be a bit difficult for Flashbacks this next fight.
The Bob goes out super early and Flashbacks are going to be able to kind of just avoid it and wait. They're going to be able to wait the Bob out. The Molten Core goes out from Nova, who's now back into the fight. The hero of Flashbacks takes down 3 with the Molten Core after the amazing stall. The Amplification Matrix goes out as well just to secure this fight win. And a really, really nice hold there from Flashbacks, holding on to point 2 and keeping their dreams alive.
Yeah, absolutely clutch plays from Nova, hiding his little Tor body behind the point and then coming back in and killing 3 with his Molten Core. That was absolutely massive. And now the cart is at the end of second point, which is arguably the worst spot, in my opinion, in all of Overwatch. The hardest spot to push, because the defenders have this high ground that is so free, and it stretches so far. It's going to be really difficult for Modify to get back in. But with no support ultimates on the side of Flashbacks, this grab from Super Polar Bear might be what they need.
And Swirlhawk's being forced out here, and Modify pushing so aggressive, he is going to thankfully get out. And Bard falls to the Gravitic Flux. Modify now down 1 member, and the Coalescence committed from Jofus. They're pushing so aggressively here into Flashbacks, even though they are down. And Sante falls extremely low, and now Flashbacks is going to have the free reign and do what they want. Super Polar caught out in the open is going to fall. And now it's down to 1 fight territory here. The beat goes out, multiple members fall for Modify, and the beat gone is so big from Flashbacks. 1 fight for Flashback Harmony Championship here is all it's going to take for them.
Yeah, this is looking really dire here for Modify, but maybe they're not out of it quite yet. Almost 4 ultimates online. A Graviton+ Pulse Bomb combo could be absolutely massive for them here, but they don't really have enough time to set up any plays like this, Jim. It's going to be really rough.
Yeah, and Sante charging just to get out. He does take down Swirlhawk, though. Modify can touch, which they do. A big Shatter taking down Cry. Cry is going to be saved by the Immortality, though. But with the Immortality out, they now have a free grab full spot. Bard with 2 picks, but 2 picks for Flashbacks. Huge 2 picks. If Flashbacks can get back fast, they do have a chance to win this fight still. with the stall. Apathy is going to fall, and now Swirlhawk just stalling. Whitman goes down though, and now Seraph's on the point. He's 60% to that Bob. It could be winnable. He is going to go down though. Modify clutching second point out. So close there.
What an absolutely insane clutch, but the map is not just quite over yet. Modify, you're gonna have to run through the gauntlet, and they only have a minute to win a fight, maybe even 2 here against Flashbacks, who are now swapping over to a Brawly Staining comp, going over to the Reinhardt, a composition similar to what Modify played on their defense. This is gonna be a really, really, really close end of the map, Jim.
Yeah, Bard goes down early. That's huge pick for Flashback. And Hugel as well, without the TPS Modify, are going to want to regroup. But the Coalescence is used from Jofus. That's a huge advantage for Flashback going into these next not even 2 fights, 1.5 fights.
Yeah, Bard has the Pulse Bomb. It did come up big with the Graviton Surge in that last fight, and it's going to need to come up big again. It seems like a lot of these fights have been on Bard's Pulse Bomb. It's the only ultimate that Modify have most of the time because they're kind of throwing out their ultimates willy-nilly at points, but this Pulse Bomb could be massive for them here. They really need it to be.
One fight is all Modify has to save their dreams of the championship, but Bard goes down early. That's a huge pick for Flashbacks. The Coalescence goes out as well from Apathy to keep Flashbacks up at 65. Now Nova goes down though. A clutch pick there. Seraph as well. Modify now a 4v4 on point. They have the grab available. The Shatter goes out. Doesn't quite catch anything. A good block. Swirlhawk is taken down so low. Super Forward just waiting for that, but the Shatter comes out, catches 3, and Flashbacks. All the picks on point here. Aries with the Shatter, shattering 4 members of Modify to save Flashbacks. Flashbacks are going to take Rialto, taking the championship 4-0. A really, really nice performance there.
You know, what an absolutely massive clutch from Ares there. Modify had so many ultimates almost coming back in, but really good performance from Flashbacks overall in this series. The first 3 maps were insanely dominant. Modify almost turning it around after halftime on this map, but Flashbacks clutching up into the end with a swap onto Brawl. Absolutely amazing performance from the Harmony Tier champions.
What an amazing map there. And turning it over to Beth, what did you notice there on Rialto?
Just Flashbacks, like their adaptiveness, or how well they've been adapting the entire time, was amazing. They had good rotations, good target focus. It was just honestly a treat to watch them. Modify, like the game was a lot closer than the score would have you believe. Modify, especially on that last map, looked pretty dominant on defense there, but gotta hand it to Flashbacks from top to bottom, every role. They just seem to have really, really strong players who know how to play together and work very well together.
Yeah, what an amazing series we just watched. And now Flashbacks, your Harmony Tier Season 5 champions. Looking at this entire series, who is your MVP, or who are your team MVPs, Needle?
Yeah, I knew you were going to ask that question, Shim. I'm going to be honest, I don't really have a good answer, but I think I have to give it to Nova here. After this whole series, he looked so good on the Pharah. It was absolutely insane. Some of these fights, like, you know, he has a team, but some of these fights, it didn't seem like he needed a team. Like on Volskaya, he was raining in so much damage on the Pharah on Flashback's attack there. I think he was really key to Flashbacks winning a lot of these points and a lot of these maps, and almost clutching out second point as well on the Torbjorn with the big stall and then the big load on the points. Really, really good performance from Nova all of the series. But when it comes to Modify for their team MVP, you know, despite losing, I'm not entirely sure. I think a lot of their players played pretty well. Again, Super Polar Bear, I gave him a match MVP for Modify's previous match against Eagles. I might give it to him again here. I think he's a pretty good off-tank player.
And what about you, Beth? Who is your MVP in this match tonight?
Well, since Needle already said Nova for Flashbacks, I just really want to point out Swirlhawk on their team. Off tanks don't get a whole lot of recognition other than when they get really good grabs or diva bombs, but watching him peel for his supports, harass the backline, like he was doing everything an off tank needed to do and playing his role beautifully. So that would since Nova was already taken, I wanted to give a shout out to him as well.
And personally for me, oh sorry, you can go ahead and finish.
Oh no, go for it.
Personally, for me, looking at both these teams, I think unrated, but I think the support line of Flashbacks is heavily underrated. My personal MVP, Lacry, had a really good performance. Apathy is mine. They were so good on that Zen the first couple of maps, as well as the Baps. They look so strong, building so many matrices. Transcendences were clutch, and just fragging out on that Zenyatta, doing a really, really nice job there, as well as the Moira. Just a really, really great performance from this flashback support line and everyone on the team in general.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think you can make an argument for anybody on Flashbacks being the match MVP there. They all had absolutely amazing performances, and what was a great series from that whole team.
All right, well, thank you everyone for tuning in to the final Harmony Tier Overwatch Tranquility match between Modify and Flashbacks, where we saw Flashbacks defeating the defending champions Modify, taking this match 4-0. They are the Harmony Tier champions of Season 5, showing us a great, great performance tonight. Be sure to tune in to Overwatch Tranquility's final featured match, which will be the Discord Tier Finals match tomorrow night between the Heckin' Habaneros and Exodus, November 11th at 8:30 p.m. EST. Finally, be sure to catch the Tranquility All-Star Games next week, which will be the final games of Season 5. I'm Chimanzi, and I've been your play-by-play caster for tonight, joined by Needle on Analysis, Beth Khan on Desk, and Booth on Production. Once again, thank you everyone for watching, and we hope to see you again soon.